Are there any questions on 6th grade math for this first office hours? I'm going to record these separately so that you can do that. So the first question that we have is on 6.1.4, problems 56, A and B. That is in the next section. Okay, so some of you have not actually gotten to there yet. So I will go for that. 6-56, parts A and B. If you draw all of these and then try to find the area of it, that's what it's asking you to do. It says to graph each of them and connect them in order. But I want you to notice I suggested that you use the E tool in your book. Okay, I suggest that you use the E tool in your book. So let me go into this section here. Let me go back to this. I was using the other book. So if you go into the ebook version of this and then look at it, I think that the ebook has a helper problem for you, so you don't actually have to draw all of them out. Let me see real quick. So when you open up the homework on this, I think I might have mentioned this in the video actually, to use the ebook. I feel like that's something that I did. So you see how it says graph it on the E tool in order? See how it actually put all of the points here for you? I believe that if you can't see the screen that it is because of an internet issue. So I will put it on YouTube so you can see this afterward. If not, just try to listen and follow along as best you can. So on problem 6-56, it asks you to connect the points in the order listed. Also, this E-tool has them in a very weird spot. So never mind on that. Sorry, that's a pretty poor E-tool if it's all written out of order. Okay, give me a second. So if you are going to connect these points in order and you put them on the graph, so the coordinate 1 and 1, remember those are x and y's, that goes here at 1, 1. 1 and 5 is over 1 and up 5. 5 and 5 is over here. And it is asking for you to connect these in order. And then 5 and 1 is down here. 3 and 1. 3 and 3. So it is going to give you this weird shape. That looks sort of like a upside down letter N. So if you're looking at this and you see the upside down letter N, then what you're going to do is your goal is to find the area of that shape. So finding the area of the shape is done in two ways. You could either break this up into rectangles, where you could look at it as a rectangle that's right here, where you could say like, okay, this top rectangle is a rectangle, this left rectangle is 1, and then this right one is 2, is that. So you could look at this where you have the 3 different sections, and then you say, well, this rectangle down here has an area of 4. This rectangle up top has an area of 8, and this one on the left, which is going to get super ugly because it's super big here, has an area of 2. Okay. So you can look at all of those if you wanted and then find the 3 different areas. But in general, that's probably going to be the easiest way to do it, is to just count the boxes. And you could do area by counting boxes or doing base times height or whatever. Does that answer your question that you had on this problem?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Real quick, I will also go through perimeter when you're adding up the length on the outside. Let me get rid of all these colors. Okay. When you're doing perimeter of this shape, you need to go around the edge and make sure that it hits all of the edges. So I'm going to do this. Let's go super bright. So straight across the top would be a length of 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if you go down this side, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 for that side. Across the bottom is 2. and then it goes up to 1, 2, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for this, and then another 4 on this side. So just make sure you trace out the entire section when you're doing this so that you have this length of 2, that length of 1, that length of 2, and that you've got all of these segments written out here. Okay? And make sure that you've got those values written as you do it. Any questions on other problems for the 6th grade week 2 stuff? I had that one question on here for Joel. 6-57. You probably will not know how to solve this if you did not watch the video that I posted for the science class. So again, a lot of this content does translate between the different sections. Like, you will see stuff in math that you can use in science, and you will see stuff in science you can use in ELA, and you'll see stuff in ELA, and it just goes on and on. So just quick chime in. How many of you actually watched the video I posted for science about proportions when you were doing that section with the planets? Any of you actually watched that? Woohoo! Aw. So one person watched the video. Yay. Maybe nobody watched the video. That's okay. I posted a video in science that was how to solve problems that looked like this, where you have a proportion using an unknown value. So allow me to show you again how to do this. So I've got this here. I'm going to pull up the whiteboard. Okay, I'm going to pull up the whiteboard. So we had a 15/8 problem. If you don't know how to set it up, that's fine. I don't need you to know how to set it up right now. I just want you to know how to solve it. 15/8 matches some value over 28. Okay. So can other people see the screen? Because it's still just one person with internet issues, maybe. Okay, if you can see the screen, that's good. I'm sorry if you can't. It's probably an internet issue. I'm trying to broadcast this at the lowest possible bandwidth, but record at high quality so you could watch it later. If you are solving these, there's a method called cross multiplication. And to do that, you multiply these two numbers together, where you multiply across. So you do 28 times 15 for the left side. Pardon? And then you multiply the right side, which is over here, where you do 8 times x. And yes, you can divide these fractions if you're doing that. And then multiply by 28. That's totally fine. And then you end up doing 28 times 15. So go ahead and just pop that one into a calculator. Okay, you get 420 for the left side is equal to 8 times x. And then you divide everything by 8. And then you end up with x equals 52.5. So this was the proportion solving method that I sort of showed you guys with on the science video. But the reality is you can do this problem in a ton of ways. You could actually figure out the price for a single person or a single person to get food. So you know that from the problem it costs $15 to serve 8 people. So you know that it's $15 for every 8 people. If you divide those, you calculate what's called the unit rate. So 15 divided by 8 gives you 1.875, and that's a number of dollars that you have for each person. And then if you take the 1.875 and you multiply it by, they were asking how much does it cost to feed 28 people. So if you multiply that by 28, okay, if you multiply that by 28, you get exactly 52.5, which is another way to solve this. Okay. Any other questions on that solving? No? 6th grade, you good? Was there just the one question from stuff, or have people not gotten to start it yet, or? Okay. Well, either way, you'll be able to come back to this video and get some help on there. I'm going to move on to 7th grade.